A portion of this video is brought to you by Zbiotics. For more information about Zbiotics, visit the link in the description below or wait until the end of this video to hear more about them from me. We need to learn this so we don't repeat the same vile mistakes. Donald Trump doesn't want us to learn. Well, he didn't learn. Donald Trump hadn't picked up a book since maybe junior high, maybe not even then. You may recognize this image. This is a photograph from 1863 of Peter Gordon in Louisiana, a former enslaved man who obviously lived for the rest of his days with the marks of his enslavement, with the proof of his systematic abuse and torture at the hands of his vile, sickening, white enslaver. Peter Gordon. The name of this image is The Scourged Back. This image is being removed by Donald Trump and the National Park Service because it's not sufficiently positive about America. Get a load of this headline from the Washington Post. This is the same thing that months ago when I started talking about the erasure of black contributions in this country, the contributions of black Americans, black people for no pay. In fact, they were rewarded with abuse and murder and rape and torture. They built this country on their backs. By their stripes, this nation was built. And if it makes you feel uncomfortable because you're white and you're fragile, get the f*** over yourself. It's a fact that even after slavery, there was convict leasing. Even after slavery, there was, under color of law, Jim Crow. Even after slavery, thousands upon thousands of black women and children were lynched, violently murdered as crowds gathered to celebrate and remove parts of the dead body of the black person as a souvenir. And Donald Trump doesn't want any reminder of our evil, disgusting, reprehensible, abhorrent past as a nation. What's that if you don't teach your history, if you don't learn your history, if you don't remember your history, you're doomed to repeat it? Maybe that's the entire point. Get a load of this headline from the Washington Post. National Park to remove photo of enslaved man's scars. The Trump administration is ordering the removal of information on slavery at multiple national parks in an effort to scrub them of corrosive ideology. Remembering slavery is corrosive, not the reprehensible, torturous treatment of this human being. That's not what's corrosive ideology. Slavery itself is not corrosive ideology. White supremacy is not corrosive ideology to Donald Trump, who he himself is a white supremacist. It's remembering what was visited upon our black brothers and sisters in this country. That's what is corrosive. These fucking ghouls believe. The Trump administration has ordered the removal of signs and exhibits related to slavery at multiple national parks, according to 4 people familiar with the matter, including a historic photograph of a formerly enslaved man showing scars on his back. That is the aforementioned Peter Gordon. The individuals, who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak with the media, said the removals were in line with President Donald Trump's March executive order directing the Interior Department to eliminate information that reflects, quote, a corrosive ideology that disparages historic Americans. National Park Service officials are broadly interpreting that directive to apply to information on racism, sexism, slavery, gay rights, or persecution of indigenous people. Following Trump's order, Interior Department officials issued policies ordering agency employees to report any information, including signage and gift shop items, that might be out of compliance. Trump officials also launched an effort asking park visitors to report offending material, but they mostly received criticisms of the administration and praise for the parks. This is a culture of informing on one another. They want the employee report all violations to the dear leader's office. If you're a civilian in a national park and you see something that offends your white sensibilities, y'all, you must report it to the dear leader's office. The latest orders include removing information at Harper's Ferry National Historic Park in West Virginia, two people familiar with the matter said, where the abolitionist John Brown, hero John Brown, absolute badass John Brown, where John Brown led a raid seeking to arm slaves for a revolt. Staff have also been told that information at the president's house site in Philadelphia, where George Washington kept slaves, does not comply with the policy, according to a third individual. Jonathan Zimmerman, a University of Pennsylvania professor who studies the history of education, said that this is the latest installment in the Trump administration's unprecedented interference with the nation's civic institutions, a campaign which also includes Trump's takeover of the Kennedy Center and attempts to pressure the Smithsonian. This represents an enormous increase in federal power and control over the things we learn, Zimmerman said, brought to you by the team that says education should be state and local, highlighting their disgusting hypocrisy. Now, one of the problems is that there are so many fascist enablers in our government. This next woman I'm getting ready to talk about is a National Park Service employee who has worked for the National Park Service for over a decade, so before Donald Trump. And now she's just spewing racist, hateful propaganda provided by the dear leader as though it's normal and reasonable and rational. Park Service spokesperson Rachel Paulitz said in a statement that all signage is under review, quote, interpretive materials that disproportionately emphasize negative aspects of U.S. history or historical figures without acknowledging broader context or national progress can unintentionally distort understanding rather than enrich it. What's the broader national context, Miss Paulitz? Miss Rachel Paulitz? What is the broader context or national, what progress, what are we missing here? Can someone tell me what context is missing? That this man had to escape slavery to be free. He had to escape to be free. He was beaten and tortured for his trouble. What context? Final paragraph. At Harper's Ferry, staff flagged more than 30 signs, according to a person familiar with the matter and documents reviewed by the Post, that highlight information potentially in violation of Trump's policy. They include signs referring to racial discrimination and hostility of white people to people who were formerly enslaved. All of that is fact. All of that is a fact. White people in this country enslaved black people. White people in this country committed violence and torture and rape and murder against that same population of human beings. And we can't remember it without what? Talking about how great white people are? Look, I feel no guilt over this. I feel sadness that this happened in my country, but I don't carry with me white guilt. I don't even know what that is. What I carry with me is empathy for the condition of a population that has never been allowed to keep their head up, to keep their chin up, to generate intergenerational wealth and transfer that on to future generations. Where when they couldn't even buy homes, they couldn't even get mortgages because the places that they were allowed to buy homes were redlined and mortgage insurance wasn't provided. Like, It was a systemic effort on the part of white-governed America to keep black people down. Brittany Page just did an interview with an author about the mother of methadone, and they talked about the history of even our drug policy in this country is predicated on racism, on which group of people might be out of their minds on drugs. Fiends for cocaine, the blacks. Marijuana, oh, Mexicans, oh, it's scary. Opium, oh, the Chinese. It is what it is. We need to learn this so we don't repeat the same vile mistakes. And Donald Trump doesn't want us to learn. Well, he didn't learn. Donald Trump hadn't picked up a book since maybe junior high, maybe not even then. Probably was having somebody pay for to do his homework then, like he did in college. I'm not overreacting. For those of you who are, oh, come on, he's not erasing. This is just woke. Whoa, what are you talking about? This is white supremacy from the party that is the most effective and powerful white supremacy organization on the planet, the Republican Party, led by Donald Trump. Lieutenants in it, Stephen Miller and J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio. Charlie Kirk, the late Charlie Kirk, was a lieutenant. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. We can disagree. We can agree. Let me know in the comments below the video, wherever you're watching it. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Please subscribe to this channel. Like and follow over on the Dollemore Daily Facebook page. I'd love to hear from you. If you have an extra $2 a month and you feel my effort is worth your treasure, I would appreciate your support helping produce these videos. You can click the join button below this video on YouTube. You can become a subscriber over on Facebook, or you can go to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another. When competing in sporting events, any athlete will tell you it's all in the training and the preparation. Exercises, supplements, vitamins, regimens, they all work in concert to aid an athlete's performance. Why should you treat a night out any differently? Just like a sporting event, an evening with drinks is at base also a feat of endurance sometimes. Why not prepare yourself the same way you would for any sporting activity? Prep like a professional with Zbiotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic specifically invented by PhD scientists to handle those tough mornings after you've been drinking. With pre-alcohol, you have a surefire way to wake up feeling refreshed after a night of drinking. Score 15% off your first order with Zbiotics now. Just click the link in the description below. In your body, the alcohol you drink is converted into a toxic byproduct your gut isn't naturally designed to break down. It's this byproduct and not dehydration that's to blame for your rough next day, despite all the water that you're drinking. Zbiotics pre-alcohol produces an enzyme that breaks this byproduct down. So if you make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night and drink responsibly, your gut will be set up for success the following day. You owe it to your morning self to fold Zbiotics into your regimen, especially since they offer a 100% money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, Zbiotics will refund your money, no questions asked. You can't lose. Preparation is the key to both endurance and recovery. Access 15% off of your first order of pre-alcohol by clicking the description link below. Keep yourself in super social shape with Zbiotics.